Let's take a moment of silence to truly recognize what John Dorsey did for this organization. At this time last year, we were the joke of every news outlet in the world. And that was because Sashi Brown and Hugh Jackson were the worst two men that were ever hired in football. And John Dorsey comes over and just completely tears down, gets his own players in here, and now we're a team that has a beast head coach. We got rid of a cancer in Greg Williams, and this team is set to move forward. And just unbelievable the steps we can make, the strides we can make for next year. The hiring of Freddie QW Kitchens was big. And I'm going to tell you how it was. A lot of people say, oh, well, get Bruce Arians in there. And Bruce Arians, he'd be a good fit, this and that. You bring in Bruce Arians, you make the Super Bowl, or even if they go 11-5, 12-4, what have you, someone's going to nab Freddie Kitchens up. You can't fire Bruce Arians after 1 year. You had to make this move right now. You're not going to lose an elite offensive genius like Freddie QW Kitchens. Did you see the plays he was drawing up against Baltimore? Did you see? Now, I will say this. The last 4 plays against that team were pretty bad. They were pretty bad. But he's like the guy for New England, Josh, whatever his name is, the nerd that went to Baltimore and the Colts. Josh, I got to think it was Josh. Whatever the fuck, Denver coach. He believed in Tebow. But if he's like that nerd, there's always somebody running wide open in Cleveland's offense because of that guy. Now we have a quarterback, thanks to John QW Dorsey. Now we have a head coach. We have players. We have everything we needed. And it's done. I think John Dorsey is such a genius at what he did. Think about this. He hired his head coach last year. Think about it. He brought in Freddie Kitchens last year. He knew what he had in him. He fired Hugh Jackson because he was told by Jimmy Hayes, well, I'll tell you, I want to give you 1 more year. I want to give 1 more year. And then it finally became evident they had to get rid of him. He brought in, he didn't name Greg Williams. Ain't that funny? They passed up Greg Williams, who was a head coach before. Greg Williams didn't want Freddie Kitchens. You know why Greg Williams didn't want Freddie Kitchens? Because Freddie Kitchens demands respect. He's a disciplinarian, right? And the offensive players love the structure and how he did this offense, the discipline. And the defensive players loved it. Greg Williams didn't want to compete with that because he knew he couldn't. But I'll give Greg Williams credit. He did a decent job down the stretch. Blowing a ton. He screwed up against the Denver game and Baltimore. He screwed up. But I'm going to tell you something. Freddie Kitchens and Baker GX Mayfield saved Greg Williams. They made him actually look better than he was. So Greg Williams, he shouldn't hold his head down. He should be thanking the good Lord for Baker GX Mayfield and Freddie fucking QW Kitchens because they made Greg Williams look like a better man than he is. Greg Williams will find work elsewhere. I don't know about this year, but he will find it. But I love this hiring. I thought it was imperative that we did not lose Freddie QW Kitchens. We couldn't lose him. There was no way. And when he was drawn up, you look at the plays, like I say, someone's running open at him. And if you look back to Carson Palmer's best years in Arizona, you know who his quarterback's coach was? Freddie QW Kitchens. Freddie QW Kitchens was his quarterback coach. The players love him. They love the structure, the discipline he brings. That will follow track with the whole team. They will love him. The defensive coordinator will fall in line. They will fall into place. So Sashi Brown, if you're out there watching, what you did to this team was a travesty. It was an outright fucking travesty. What you did in the last 3 years before Jonathan QW Dorsey came in and saved us was a fucking outright travesty. You gutted this team when it didn't need to be gutted, and you got rid of some good players. And then thank God John Dorsey had the wherewithal and the fortitude to make the appropriate draft picks and get this ball rolling again. Because you fucked things up. And you are held accountable for it. So Freddie QW Kitchens is a great story. You know, Mark Schlayworth was on Colin Cowherd. He made Colin Cowherd so mad he started bragging up Baker Mayfield and talking about how Freddie Kitchens is going to give Baker Mayfield everything and he can just digest it and he doesn't forget things. You will see Freddie Kitchens calling plays next year. You will also see Baker Mayfield starting to call his own plays. I'll guarantee you, when a blowout's going on, Freddie Kitchens will be like, yo, Baker, call what you want at the line of scrimmage. That's the relationship them two got. That's how you want it. You want a head coach and a quarterback on the same page. They have a great relationship, a great rapport. That is important in football. When you lose that, you lose games. When you have that, you win games. This was a magnificent hiring. And to think there are people out there that, on Facebook, people crying about Greg Williams. Oh, we had Greg Williams, so we let him go. Yeah, we let go. His defense gave him 450 yards a fucking game. The guy couldn't make an adjustment on the fly. He had to wait till halftime when we were down 21-0. The guy, yes, he made adjustments. It took him till halftime. Good coaches make adjustments on the fly. That's what they do. And to think, if it wasn't for John Dorsey, Greg Williams would have somebody else, the offensive fucking coordinator. Now, this goes back to Todd Haley and Hugh Jackson. You know who started that whole goddamn ball of flame? Freddie Kitchens. He says, can it be up to me not to play the guy, but at least them being dressed? And Hugh Jackson, like, again, guys, I drive this bus. I'm sitting there. Let me do the whole scene. I used to sit in the same seat as you guys last year. I see guys, I want to kill them. I want to kill them because I want to kill them. But then when you sit in my seat and you look at it from a different lens, you don't have them players. It's a different lens here. It's a different lens here, guys. I sit in a different seat then. Hey, what did I say now? It's my bus, and I'm going to drive it however the hell I want. So, guys, hey, got anything else to say? Say it now. Forever hold your peace. And then Todd Haley chimed in. He goes, with all that being said, on a positive note, I think we got some good things going and we got a lot to work on, but I've seen enough positives to make me happy. And Greg Williams, you know what he did? Continued writing, showing a sign of disrespect for Hugh Jackson. I'll give Greg Williams credit there. He wrote the whole meeting. When Hugh Jackson was talking, he was just like a little kid, just fuck you, just going to keep doing his own thing. I'll give Greg Williams credit for that because he disrespected Hugh Jackson. Hugh Jackson was a fucking cancer. Jimmy Haslam, you don't deserve the great fortunes that John Dorsey gave you right now. You are lucky to have Jonathan QW Dorsey. John Dorsey comes in this organization, a laughingstock of the league. Now we're like a perennial fucking badass. No one wants to play us next year with Baker GX Mayfield. I kind of hope Greg Williams gets hired by Cincinnati or Pittsburgh. Although Baker Mayfield won't have a problem with that because you know what? Baker Mayfield and Greg Williams are friends. It was just Hugh Jackson being a fucking little conniving little bitch throwing people on the bus. And you don't behave that way in front of Baker GX Mayfield because he will shit in your mouth. So I'm pumped up as a Browns fan. I wish we were on Hard Knocks again. I wish we were. I'd like to be on there again. So yes, Greg Williams, hey, you had a chance, but you should have done better than 5-3 down the stretch. In 8 games, we could have won all 8 of them. You fucked up. The players did like him, I'll say that. He was good at that. Greg Williams, I have nothing against him. I like Greg Williams. And if Greg Williams is younger, see, here's the wild card. If Freddie Kitchens wasn't such a beast, I could actually see hiring Greg Williams. I could. But you can't jeopardize losing Freddie Kitchens for Greg Williams. You can't. Because I'm telling you right now, teams wanted to interview Freddie Kitchens, but they denied it because, he's under contract. Now, if I was the Bengals, I would have said, you know what, Cleveland, we want to interview Freddie for the head coaching job. That's what I would have done, and then Cleveland would have had to grant that. You can't have a lateral movement, but they would have had to grant it. And guess what? Cleveland would have no choice but to hire Freddie on the spot because he goes to fucking Cincinnati, gets hired. No, you don't want that. Trust me. Cincinnati should have played hardball. They should have said, we want to interview with the head coach. Now, Cincinnati may do something dumb. Now, maybe hire Hugh Jackson, hopefully. But yeah, Freddie Kitchens is great. Considering where we were last year at this time because of Sashi Brown and where we are now because of Jonathan QW Dorsey and Freddie QW Kitchens and Baker, GX Mayfield, we're on a different stratosphere. So, it's a hell of a time to be a Browns fan right now.